Hey folks, Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation. It's officially dark 30. You can tell the light is still on my microwave over here. But one of my big to-dos for this week was to push out a video about marathon training for Ironman triathletes. It's that time of year again. It's September, and the majority of people who either raced early or are wrapping up their races now in September have a fall marathon on their schedule. Inside Endurance Nation, we talk very specifically about not racing a fall marathon. If you're serious about your Ironman, if you're serious about your Ironman progress over the course of the year, yet every year we get emails. I just got two last week from people who said, just nonchalantly, well, I'm going to do a marathon because it's going to make me a better runner, and I want to sort of address that directly. There are many limiting factors of what makes you a better runner in an Ironman, and the majority of them have nothing to do with whether or not you've run a marathon before. We've had plenty of people come in and do an Ironman without a marathon, a standalone marathon, and do very well. Go sub 12 even some of them. So while the run experience helps, knowing what's going to happen to your body in a marathon, and the type of training that goes into marathon training, the long run training helps. I wouldn't say that doing a marathon in the out season, which is what we call the off season transition, is going to make you a better runner. So here's why. Number one, okay, fatigue. End of a long year, you've already raced an Ironman, you probably did a half, you might have done two halves. Some crazy folks out there have done more than one Ironman. Adding an Ironman onto that time of year means, at the end of the year, means you're just not allowing your body to recover overall. So while it looks really good now in the short term, next year when you try and go back to Ironman or half and then your Ironman, at that point in time in your year, something's going to go in your body, be it mental or physical, and you're not going to be able to achieve your goals. So short term feels good, long term actually hurts your goals of being consistent in terms of running. Number two, speed on race day. The people on the front end of the run are absolutely good runners, but many of them, or many of the people who are in front of you at least, the person who's thinking about a fall marathon to improve Ironman running, they're simply better on the swim or better on the bike. In other words, if I can improve my strength on the bike by 5%, I get to use that 5% over 112 miles of the bike, and I can also improve my aerodynamics, and I can also improve how I execute on the bike. If I can nail all of those things, if I can get stronger, get more aero, and improve how I execute on the bike, that could mean a huge gain on the Ironman bike leg relative to the run. I've got a 6-hour athlete who's out there for 360 minutes. She's a 5% gain. Can take 30 minutes off their Ironman bike time with the right combination of those three factors that I mentioned. A 5% gain across a 4-hour marathon, not so much. And it's also a lot harder when you get to the run. So think about what the return you get for all that hard work. In other words, are you as fit as you can be? Are you as aero as you can be? Are you as strong as you can be on the bike? Because that's where the majority of your race happens, right? So I would suggest that you focus on that element. And then finally, there's no amount of long running that makes you better at running long. If that makes sense. Your pace on race day is a function of what your threshold pace is. We run inside Endurance Nation, we run a percentage of your threshold pace. So if at threshold, say like 10K pace, I can run probably 6:10s right now. Call it 6:15s. I'm being a little crazy. So I can run 6:15, say. Well, my overall marathon pace, my standalone marathon pace, is about 6:45, and my Ironman marathon pace is about 7:30, 7:25 on a good day, if I can get it right. I've yet to be that close, and as a result, the way that I get faster in an Ironman run is to improve that threshold pace. I don't go out and run tons of miles at that long run pace. There's many of you out there who've done 12, 14, 16 weeks of long runs at that goal pace, that 7:15 pace, and then on race day you go out and run 8s, and you don't understand why you're 45 seconds slower per mile. It's because that long run fitness has very little to do with what Ironman run fitness looks like. That run fitness and Ironman is so different. Ironman cares about how you pace the bike, how you ate on the bike, and how you've been eating on the run, what the conditions are like on the day. And racing is ultimately about not slowing down relative to competition. There's a lot of Ricky Racer stuff going on early in the day, but it's the people who have a very solid pace that they get able to maintain over the course of the day that do very well. You stand on the side of an Ironman at mile 5 or mile 18, which is roughly where we stand in Endurance Nation. We stand at mile 18 of every North America Ironman. You'll see us there. You'll see people coming by, and you can literally pick them out of the crowd. You can just see a girl or a guy running, and you can say, "Wow, she's gonna be crushing it." And then you can see other people, and you're like, "He's about to lose everything." The wheels are coming off, the head is down, holding the gut, whatever it is. You can tell by the body language how people are doing. And yet, if you ask them, the majority of people probably have run standalone marathons. So, what are the differentiating factors? And the items that I've mentioned earlier. So, what does this mean for you, the person who's going to do a marathon this fall? Knock yourself out. Ironman training means you're pretty fit, and you may be able to go out and PR your marathon. And I'm all about that. You got to do cool stuff with your fitness, and if your version of cool is a marathon, then go for it. If your version of social is a marathon, then awesome. But understand this. We don't want you to get injured. So no wacky mileage programs, no running yourself on the ground ignoring injuries in your body. It still is technically your off season. You need to take care of your body. That's number one. Number two, keep your goals moderate. Don't cook yourself. If you've run a 4-hour marathon in Ironman, next time you might want to run a 3:45. Don't go out trying to run sub 3 if you're trying to run a 3:45 in Ironman. Keep it simple. Roughly 30 minutes ahead of what your goal Ironman time is sort of a good standalone Ironman time. And of course, the faster you get, the smaller that window gets. You sort of run up against the end of your potential. But your goals on race day are to have a great run race. Nail that run nutrition. Nail some new long run routes. Make some new long run friends. Running an open marathon means you're going to hit that wall, and it's going to be hard. An open marathon is much harder than an Ironman marathon from a pacing and effort standpoint. So you're kind of put your head inside the lion's mouth as you're going in there. Pay attention to what you see, what happens to your body, where are you. Those are valuable skills that come into play in an Ironman, because when things start to go wrong and the wheels start to come off, if you've got that long run experience from an execution standpoint, you can say, "Wow, I'm not drinking enough. I need to drink. Oh my God, look at my heart rate. It's way too high. I got to back off. This is a lot, hillier or hotter than I thought it was. I'm going to do X or Y. Wow, look, this is a lot more downhill. I can run through this fast, but not like I ran through fast in that open marathon where I blew my quads out. I'm going to run like this." And so you can leverage that experience to make you a better runner on Ironman race day. But I repeat, at the end of the day, nothing about training for a marathon, an open marathon in off-season, will contribute to making you faster in a marathon in an Ironman. There's just too many other extenuating factors that really make a difference in your day. So examine all those factors. Don't feel like you need to run an open marathon in the off-season to get faster. Fix those other things first. At the end of the day, if you want to run it, if it's fun, you go. But in our world, we say, train for the full, race the half. Go out there, have fun, enjoy your off-season time, raise your fitness to threshold for the bike and the run, and you'll be faster next year, guaranteed. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. A little bit longer this morning. My apologies. I'll go get some more coffee and get back on point. Thanks, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.